And if you can also give your outlet.
Oh, sure, no problem. What's Up Fandom Podcast.
Podcast です。What's Up Fandom ということ。
In the last 20 years, the voice acting landscape in America has changed tremendously.
Yes.
How has the voice acting landscape in Japan changed?
In the last 20 years?
Yeah.
この20年。Phew. アメリカでもやっぱりその声優そのボイスアクティングの世界業界が本当にも変わってきた。日本はどういう違い、どういうふうに変わったのかなっていうこの20年。
私が感じる違いはすごく優しくなりました。
In my opinion, become a lot more nicer.
ナイスなのかな。
いい
意味でも悪い意味でも。
In a good way and in a bad way though. Like very 優しい is like soft or like more. なんかいろいろゆるいというか。ゆるい like in a lot like almost more loose in a way, so not as strict. それは監督とかそういうなんか。
私の声優としての面から見た話ですけど、昔はもっとすごく厳しくて、やっぱり日本でいう根性っていうのがすごくだから怒られたりとか、もう出ていけって言われたりとかすごくたくさんありましたけど、今はそういうことを言ってはいけない世の中に日本もなっているので、それを感じます。
でそれもいいところもあれば悪いところもある。そうですね。So she said that like compared to when she first started 20 years ago, she feels like, say for instance you didn't do a good performance or something, they'd be like, get out of here! You know, so there's a lot more things that you could do 20 years ago that you can't do now. And so in that way, it's changed a lot, you know. So that's what she means by kind of softer, you know. Which is a good thing, but then also maybe a little bit bad, you know. Bad. And when she first started 20 years ago, there's kanjo, which is like, to hold it in. So basically, 我慢がすごいあったんですよね。Yeah, so it's a lot more of holding things in and not really, you can't say things, like even if you feel something. So
心がちょっと弱くなってるかなとは思います。
In a way, maybe, like coming from a voice actor, she feels that maybe almost a little bit weaker, kind of, you know, because they're not used to that old school way of coaching or teaching, you know, which is a very Japanese thing, right? So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, very interesting.
Jeremy from Anime Diet.
Anime Diet. James.
You once said in an interview that you originally auditioned for another character besides Hitagi in Bakemonogatari.
本当に違うキャラクターのオーディションしたっていうふうに前聞いたことある。
Could you tell us what character that was?
そのキャラクターは何なのか教えてくれます。もし大丈夫であれば。
もともと下着をやるまで私は結構小さい可愛いキャラクターが多かったんですよね。なので最初に、オーディションをいただいたのは八九時です。
So at first she thought, because really back then she did a lot more cute, smaller characters, so she thought that it would be Hachikuji, the character.
それで言うと、実はまどかマギカの時もオーディションを受けたのは、ホムラじゃなくて、京介とあとキューベイです。
And so in the same vein, like with Madoka, like she actually did not audition. そのオーディションした時はホムラじゃなかったんだ。
ホムラじゃなかったです。最初に言われたのは、京介っていうさやかが好きな男の子がいるんですけど。
So the boy that Sayaka likes, right, 京介。
とあとはキューベを最初はオファーされていて。
And those were the first offers actually that were given to her.
その後にホムラをっていう風に誰に言われたかなわかんないですけど、現場でホムラもお願いしますって言われました。
And then when she was there, それスタジオでオーディション
だったと思うけど。
So when she auditioned at the studio there, they told her, "Can you also just go ahead and audition for Homura?" And so that's what she did.
それはなんかすごく若いから子たちが多かったんだけど、実はホムラっていうのはすごく長い年月をなんかこう 時代回っているので何回も何回もやり直しているので、で私にもやってもらったらどうかっていう話になって、ちゃんとキャリアの長い人にも頼んで、で私に声がかかりました。
それが最初のきっかけなんだ。その
ホムラ
やっぱり
はそうです。
長いキャリアを持ってる人の方が、そういろんな
多分その何度もこう時代を回って
エボリューショ
る
ンが
っていう、そうで多分私にこうその後にかかったと思います。
And probably the reason being that they decided to ask her for Homura is because the character evolves. It has so many evolving like cycles and everything, and so she has had like a very long career, and so they're like, let's ask you to do Homura too, because you know of her ability and everything, and that she's able. Yeah. So. Was that good? Answer your question.
Well, I did want to also. You mentioned you felt a connection to Senjogahara in Bakemonogatari.
化け物語で戦場コネクションすごいつながりがあるって。And was that in an interview that you
And
heard?
you talked
or,
about
どうかなインタビュー
you felt comfortable with that character. You
そ
could
れがすご
understand
い
that character.
それがすごいそのキャラクターがすごい理解できるキャラクター。いやいやいや。Yeah. Yeah.
What was it about that character
That understood, that felt the connection. 何が一番その自分にそのつながりがあったのか。これすごい。
私にというよりは多分下着をやり始めた時ってみんな下着が怖いキャラクターだっていうふうに言ってたんですよ、周りの人が。なんですけど私は初めて読んだ時からなんて可愛い女の子らしいキャラクターなんだろうと思ってて、それが何回言っても周りの人に全然伝わらなくて、なんでだろうなと思ってたんですけど、シーズンが進んでいったらだんだんそれがみんなにも伝わるようになって、だから多分私は最初から彼女のことを怖いキャラクターと思わずに演じていたから、それが多分こうその後に見た人たちにもちゃんと伝わったんじゃないかなと思っています。多分怖いキャラクターとして演じていたら怖いキャラクターのままだったかなと思います。
So the reason that she felt like a connection to that character is because everyone around thought of that character as being very scary. But she said that when she read the script and she was like doing the voice acting for that character, that she thought, oh, so kind of like such a cute character and so girlish, you know, like has a very femininity to it. But everyone just didn't see that. Like they didn't see that. And then finally, as the season was proceeding, then they started to see that. So she said that if I had really approached it as a scary character, that part might not have seeped into the role, and so she kind of saw that vision already, right? And so that's why she felt a connection to it. Yeah.
So really, she was kind of an esper in understanding that character.
どうかな、エスパーだとは思わないけど、私には
Maybe
そう
not.
感じ、私にはそう感じてそう演じたから、
だから
みんなそう思ってくれるようになったかもしれないなと
But
思ってます。
she did feel really strongly about that, and so because of that, she feels that maybe that's why people started to really feel that way as well.
それで大丈夫かな。
Good? Okay, thank you.
My name is Ricky. I'm with Spoiler Force Podcast.
Okay, hold it this. Ricky-san desu.
So my question for you is, like, through your experience in voiceover, what have you enjoyed the most? Was it like dubbing anime, movies, or video games?
何が一番好きなの？
今は子供がいるからなかなか見られないですけど、映画を見るのは本当に好きで、一人で見に行くのが好きだったので、人とではなくて一人で行って、それがすごくストレス発散でした。なんか見に行ってその世界に入るっていうことが大好き。だから映画を見ることが好きですね。
だから自分が仕事としてやるのも映画も好き？
仕事としてはどうかな。やっぱりアニメーションが私は好きです。
Okay. それはなぜ？
それはなんでなんだろう。なんか多分全く違うものになれるからな気がします。
Okay, so I have two parts for you. So first of all, she said that she doesn't get very much time to do this now. She's a mother, very busy mother of 3 kids. So needless to say, not very much personal time. She said, but one of the things that she's always loved to do is to go to a movie theater by herself and to like just delve into that world. That's one of her favorite things in the world. She doesn't get to do it very much. But as far as work-wise, so she loves movies, but as far as work-wise, anime. And the reason being because you can get to be something that you are not. You know, you get to put on a character and like experiment. And so she loves being able to become a character. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Charles. I'm with Beneath the Tangles.
Okay.
And I have a question about Homura. So she's a complicated character who has become, I think, more complex as each kind of piece comes
結構
out
複
about
雑
the
な結構難
series.
しいちょっと難しいキャラクターなんですけど
Do you-
どんどんとそういう風になってきて
Do you view her differently now in 2023 than in 2011, and how so?
ああその最初そのキャラクターを演じた2011年と
はい
今のホムラはやっぱり違う風に
そうですね。ホムラはすごく複雑なキャラクターで、さっきちょっとオーディションの話をしましたけど、私全くホムラのことを何にも知らない状態でオーディションを受けたんですよ。多分唯一の人だと思うんです。みんなもうちょっと資料をちゃんともらって知ってたから、だから私は第一印象で文章そのオーディションであったオリジナルだったので、オーディションにあった原稿の印象だけで演じたんですけど、割とその時から変化はないかもしれないです。で、私原作があったら読むんですけど、窓マギはオリジナルだったから本当にその都度もらった台本で情報を得てやっていっているんですけど、だから正直多分1話を演じた時に10話の話なんては知らなかったから、
しかもあるっていうことも知らないかもしれない。
そう、だから結構知らない状態でそのオーディションじゃない 1話の台本でもらった印象で常にやってましたね。
じゃあもう本当に毎回
毎回それを積み上げていって、ある時にみんながびっくりしたのと同じタイミングで私も台本ちょっと早いけど台本見てびっくりっていう状態だったんですけど、やっていて変わったことといえば演じる時は変わらないですけど周りの見方はすごく変わったなと思って
それはどういう感じ？
私の中ではちょっとさっきもね少し話してたけど、グラデーションなんです。こう役の中でホムラになって前のホムラメガネのホムラが出てきてっていうのはグラデーションなんだけれど、やっぱりそれ以外のところで演じることがすごく多いキャラクターで全部別のものになってしまってる今だから、そこの違いはあります。だけど大元で本筋で演じるときは一緒だけど、例えばゲームだったりとかそういうもので演じるときはもう今は3つのホムラに分かれています。
So as far as how she feels it's different from 2011 to now, she said that honestly she wasn't even, as she mentioned before, planning on auditioning for Homura. So usually she said when she does an audition, she goes in and she does a lot of research, kind of maybe on like the original, like if there's like a light novel or something like that, she'll do, and then also have like a little bit of information on the character, but she had absolutely nothing. So she went into it very pure, right? And so she basically went in with a script and then just did it without any kind of back knowledge or anything like that. And she said that really, like, starting with the first script that she did, it's almost like she didn't even know if there would be like, how long that would continue or like but it's a very much of a graduation, right? It's very like has a lot of a cycle, not a cycle, but like a not landscape, but graduation,
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, yes. And she said that, the only thing that she would say though that is different is that now you have games, right? And so there is like 3 different homura, with like depending on what it
ホムラ
is.
ちゃん、メガネホムラちゃん、悪魔ホムラちゃん。
Yeah, so devil homura, glasses homura, and then homura. So it is into 3 parts.
それはどんどん違うなんかこ
And
う
it's kind of taking a different direction. So there is that. でもそれは自分の演技があるんじゃなくて自然にそういう風になってきてるよね。
というかちょっとデフォルメされてきてますね。それぞれ割とゲームでやることが多いので、やっぱ違いがあった方が ユーザーさんに伝わる。
区別できる。
なんか区別してくださいっていうのが多くなってきて。
So there are a lot of requests, however, to kind of differentiate, right? So there is some of that, right, that she has to
それに
do.
すごくなんだろう嫌だなって思ってた時期がありましたけど。
And there was a time when she didn't want to do that. Like she didn't feel like the authenticity, you know, like, yeah.
そこから多分好きになってくれて見てくれる人もいるか
うん
ら、だからなんか今はそこまで気にしてないです。
So now she doesn't really worry about it. She doesn't really think about it, you know. But and then also like her having different directions that she's kind of taken Homura has of course brought in new fans and a lot of people who love that character, right? So she doesn't think about it as much or worry about it as much. Yeah. Yeah.
Antoine with EMA with Talk to the Podcast.
Okay, podcast Antoine Sunday.
My question is, obviously you've been in the industry for a very long time, played a lot of characters. What character as a voice actress did you have the most difficulty getting into character for?
一番難しかった。だからもうこの20年 so it could be anything in a 20-year career. Ooh, that's a big question.
一番難しかったのは。
And did you want to know why? I mean, I'm assuming. あとで一番難しかったキャラクターまたはでなぜそれが一番難しかったのか。
やっぱり一番難しかったのはどうだろうな、ヨナかもしれないです。
ヨナ。
暁のヨナっていう作品のヨナキャラクターが、もうタイトルにもなっているキャラクターで、本当にその世界を引っ張っていく必要があって、で女の子一人なんですけど、本当になんだろう、少年ジャンプみたいな話なんですよね。なんかもう本当に女の子の成長物語、だからなんか周りにはかっこいい男の子がいるんだけれど、その人たちになんか恋愛するとか可愛がられるとかではなくて、その人たちを引っ張っていくかっこいい存在のキャラクターなので、それはすごくそこを意識して、やっぱり彼女を成長させたいというそう気持ちがあって、すごい難しかったというよりはやりがいがありました。
So not only would this be her hardest, most challenging character, but also maybe one of the ones that gave her the most incentive maybe as well is Yona from Akatsuki no Yona. And first of all, her character's in the title, so right there, that just goes to show there's a lot of pressure, you know, the spotlight, but also she pulls the world, right? She's pulling that Yona world, sekaikan, like that world, she has it on her back basically, and she has all these boys and everything around her, but they're not like, oh, falling in love or anything like that. It's more like she's pulling everyone with her, you know? So it's like a very kakui, very cool kind of character. And so she said she felt a lot of almost pressure with that because she wanted to make sure that she had a very strong performance that would really answer to that. So almost kind of like she said, it's like a shonen jump, shonen jump, light a little bit, right? So it's a very much of an adventure of one girl, right? Yeah.
連載してるのは花と夢です。連載してたのは花と夢っていう雑誌なんだけど。
花と夢。
そうそう花と夢の雑誌なんだけど。
It's from 花と夢's magazine. Yeah. 雑誌？
そう少女漫画なんですけど、す
so
ごい
it's
少
like
年漫画
a
みたいな。
female. So it's like a shoujo like manga. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk from Anime Trending. You're once again voicing Homura for the upcoming Madoka Magica movie Walpurgis Rising. And you also reprise your role for a Magic Records spin-off. How does it feel to be returning to this character in a proper sequel?
そうなんかそういうだからそのWhat's sequel again? やだ。いやその映画の方でまたその
ワルプルギスの回転。
そうでそれでまた戻るっていうことはどういう気持ちなんですか？
すごく楽しみ。そうまだ 本当に私たちキャストも何にも知らされていなくて、最近ティザームービーを撮ったんですけど、
They took a teaser movie though. They like a trailer. They did.
最近
Yeah.
トレーラー撮ったんだけど、
Mm.
その情報しか全く知らなくて、何を聞いても教えてもらえなくて、いつもそうなんですけど、窓まぎは。だけどやっぱりプロジェクトが大きいので、いろんな人が関わっているし、やっぱり今まで積み上げてきたものがあるから、ものすごく楽しみです。ただ今私現在悪魔になってるから、ここからどこへ行くのだろうっていうので、もうあとは世界を本当に壊すしかないから、そうそうどっちになるんだろう、ヒーローになるのか悪役のボスになるのか、ホムラちゃんはどっちになるのかがすごく楽しみです。
She said that she's super excited for it, obviously, like very, but she said also, I basically have no information. So we did do that little teaser trailer, and that's as far as they know what's going on. So like they've tried to get more information, but they can't get more
何
information.
にも教えてくれない。
Yeah, they're like, but a lot of people are very involved, and so it's going to be definitely it's going to be an incredible project. She said, but then also like thinking about her character Homura, like what is Homura going to do? Like Homura's right now a devil. Is her character going to destroy the world? Will she take a further turn for bad, or will she become a heroine? So yeah, but no idea, but very excited about it.
Hello, Chad from Fusion Hot Podcast. So, can you tell us how you got into voice acting and what was your first role?
声優さんになったきっかけ、最初の役を教えてください。
最初のきっかけは母が雑誌を間違えて買ってきたことで、最初の役は最初の役っていうのはあれかな、ちゃんとレギュラーでやった役の方がいいのかな、本当にそのゲストで
いや最初やった役でいいと思います。
魔術師王天、
魔術師
リベンジっていうののキャラクターです。本当にちょっと出てきた、キャラクターです。一話に出てきたんじゃないかな。
魔術リベンジで
そうリベンジ。
So, so she actually talked a little bit about this in her panel today, how she got into. So she said, growing up, she never really thought that she wanted to be a seiyuu. But she told her mom that she wanted her mom to buy her a fashion magazine, right? And so, and back then, fashion magazines would be like on stands or whatever like that, and they wouldn't be all nice, in like little like plastic covers or whatever to protect it, right? So her mom, yeah, like kiosk とかみたいに, yeah, like in the kiosks, like in Japan or whatever, like they'll be like on top of each other. So she said like her mom is very, sometimes kind of a little bit different maybe, but her mom was like, I'm not going to take the one at the top. I'm going to take the one at the, towards the bottom, so no one touches it, And so her mom took one from the bottom, and that happened to be Seiyuu Grand Prix was the name of the magazine. And then that was when she first found out this world existed. Until then, she had never known. And so she said, so that was literally how she's like, oh, interesting. And then her first role, and this is not like a series regular or anything, but it's called Matsushitsu? Orphan. Orphan, yeah. Yeah, so that would be, her first one. Yeah. あと、皆さんにハリソン・フォードの
いいです、もちろん。
言ってください。
あと
There's still a little bit more, and I want her to tell. No, justそれが大事。I'm like, tell us more.
だから興味を持って声優の仕事をしてでその後に私はハリソン・フォードが本当に大好きだからなんかハリソン・フォードと共演するって言ったらちょっと現実味がないんだけどハリソン・フォードと声で間接的に共演すると思ったらそれだって思ってなりたいなと思います。
声優目指せ
そうそう
So, because I wanted her to say this first. So, she loves movies, right? She's talked about this earlier. So, and then she read about this world that they have called, of voice acting, right? She's like, I love Harrison Ford. Voice actor, voice of someone that is working with Harrison Ford. I can actually be somehow together in the project and we can be together.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it started.
高校生だったから
Remember, she was 18. She was still high school. We all have dreams. Yeah, そうね、夢があった方がいいです。Yes. So it all started from Harrison Ford, basically. No?
Thank you.
Jeremy Brown from Fusion High Podcast. Can you tell us about a moment in your career that you're most proud of?
Oh. Wow.
どうしよ
That's 20 years. We're going to have to wait for a little bit. 20年結構ね、これはちょっと考えちゃう
思い出すのが大変だ
な。
から
Just like let the wheel speak.
いやでもやっぱりこうやって海外に呼んでもらったりすると、やっぱりまどかマギカ物語シリーズっていうのはすごく大きいんだなって思うので、やっぱり世界で言っても通じるキャラクターはやっぱりすごいなと思います。
まさか
すごい。しかも物語シリーズはもう物語で通じるからすごいなって思います。はい、思います。
She said that probably, honestly, it would be the fact that she comes to these countries where Japanese obviously is not like the native, but she comes to these countries all over the world where people actually know Madoka Magi and also Monogatari series, like they actually, like even Monogatari series is like a very Japanese, it's a hard, but everyone knows it and can relate to it or, just feels so much about it. And so that would definitely be one of her proudest moments, the fact that so many people around the world love this work. やっぱり日本にずっといるとそういうのってあんまりわからないじゃないですか。
そうですね。やっぱ来てみて、今日はサイン会をさっきやってたんですけど、みんなに好きなキャラクター何って聞いて、じゃあ好きなキャラクターの名前を書くねって、フェイバリットキャラクター教えてって言うと、やっぱひたぎ、ホムラすごく強かったので、すごいなって思いますね。
Yeah, because when you think about it, because Japan can in many ways, if you're only in that one, if you're only in Japan, you don't really see what a lot of people love and you don't understand the power, right? That your voice, your character, or an anime can have, an effect it can have on people. And so she said that, we just did the autograph session. We just came from that, which thank you so much for waiting. I really appreciate for, waiting. But, she asked everyone when they autographed, what's your favorite character? And then, of course, Madoka Magi, and then also Monogatari series, the two characters from that were the ones that came up the most, so yeah.
Thank you.
Are we good?
I didn't get any questions.
Okay. Maybe.
Is there a series or property that you would like to be in?
何かの例えばこれのIP だから例えばこのシリーズ参加してみたいなとかわかんないけどディズニーとかなんかでもいいし it could be anything, right? It could be I wouldn't be Minnie Mouse from Disney. It could be something like that, right?
Anything,
Yeah. 何でも or it could be with Harrison Ford, right? Indiana Jones.
パネルの時も言ったけど、ちょっと離れたところで見てたいから実際に共演するとちょっと
インディ・ジョーンズはやりたくないね。
ちょっと違うかも。
Yeah, no, we do not want to do Indie Jones because sometimes how when you love something so much, it's better to kind of keep a little distance.
難しい。
Yes. だから何が一番？
実はもうすでに一つ叶っていて、トランスフォーマー。
Transformers, which もうやってる。
そうそうついちやってて。
Which she's doing Twitch, yeah. Asper? Yeah. Is it Aspark? Allspark. Yes.
それはトランスフォーマーになりたかったというよりはおもちゃになりたかった。
So more than being a transformer, she wanted to be a toy. She wanted to be able to be a toy, which is kind of a cool thing. So what else?
割と可愛いぬいぐるみとかこうちょっとオタクの人向けのおもちゃはなったことがあったんだけど
So she's of course been like, like plushies and stuff like that, having to do with like the anime.
フィギュアとかね
Yeah, like a figure. But she wanted to do
おもちゃになりたかっ
a robot omochama. Like she wanted to be a toy. Yeah.
たそうだからすごく今嬉しくてクリスマスは息子はバンブルビーがいいって言うけどツイッチもあげる
So, and to add to this, so she has another very cool story. Her son, who's here with her, like who's 6 years old, a complete Transformers fan. So he does not know at all that he doesn't even know what she does, right? So, and she's kind of keeping that like that. And so she says, and she said that, like she'll be at home and he'll be watching watching Transformers. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And he told her for Christmas, he wants Santa to bring him Transformers. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll switch. He's like, I don't like him. I want Bumblebee. She's like, she's like, but I'm giving it to you anyway. So she's going to give both for Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the story about how you started your career with the magazine that your mother got by accident. This makes my question a little easier.
Yeah.
You also said one time you kind of wondered how it got there. If I can ask you to use your imagination, if it was an anime plot, how do you think that magazine got there?
その声優グランプリだからもしそれがアニメのストーリーラインになってたらどういうふうに、もし自分がイマジネーションを使ってたらどういうふうに、そういうその声優グランプリがそこでその場所になってて、
どうして声優グランプリをきっかけに興味を持ったかと。
だからそのお母さんがどうしてその声優グランプリの写真を
分からなかった。だからそれは本当にうちのお母さんは天然だから。
Because she can be a little bit airheaded. So this is why.
私が一生懸命描いた猫の絵を金魚の絵素敵っていう人なので。
So just to give you an example, she'll draw like a really cute picture of a cat, and then her mom will be like, oh, look at the goldfish, so cute. So she's kind of got her own world, basically.
もう自分の世界作ってる人。
割とそういうお母さんってね、お母さんってそういうものだけど。
Maybe some mothers, maybe we have mothers like that. I know I do, but yeah.
全くだからその私が言った雑誌に興味がないから多分その違いをそんなにあと、声優グランプリすごくおしゃれな表紙だったので女性の声優さんのすごく素敵な表紙だったから多分違いが分からなかったんだと思う。
And also probably because it had like a really cool jacket, like the cover was really pretty, and so probably she said her mom was just like, oh, I don't like that. I'm just gonna keep this, and then that's probably why. So. But which is actually a great anime plot, I think.
で今みたいに声優の雑誌がいっぱいなかったので、あとちっちゃい近所の本屋さんだったから、もういろんな雑誌が多分ちょっとずつあったので、その違いが分からなかった。
And also, so this was like in a neighborhood like store, and nowadays you have so many probably magazines, right? Like different kinds of magazines, even just for like the Seiyuu world. But back then you didn't, and so maybe like that was the one that kind of caught her attention, and she was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm getting, and then that's how that happened. But they didn't have that much variation as well, so.
多分紀ノ国屋とかに買いに行ってたら間違いなかった
また違うね。
と思う。
Yeah. So if her mom had gone to Kinokuniya, which is as we all know, like a very big, they have like a corner dedicated to like Seiyuu magazines, and they also have a selection of everything, right? As we all know. So she might not have been a Seiyuu. Like it might have been a completely different path, right? So
ね、もしかしたら声優になってなかったかもしれない。
全然なってないと思う。
She said, no, I wouldn't have been a Seiyuu. So there's that.
And if I may, did you ever play a character that was adjacent to Harrison Ford in any capacity?
そうなにやってない。
No. I thought you voiced Princess Leia in Tokyo Disney.
あれ？プリンセスレイヤーを 東京ディズニーでやってる
やってないやってないやってない。
No.
私じゃないです
Wrong information. I thought so too.
Fake news,
It's
fake
on
news.
Wikipedia. It's on Wikipedia. It's incorrect. They
私
need
だ
to
ったらよ
correct
かったのに。
Wikipedia でね。
私だったらよかったの
He
に。
said, but it should have been me.
I have one question. So, this is not an anime related question,
これ
but
アニメとは
let's say it's Friday night
金曜日
and
の
you
夜
finish work for the day.
仕事終わった
What do you do to relax or to help?
リラックスするときに何やる You mean besides like run away from the kids? Because she's got 3 kids.
Yes.
どうしよう。どう
As
し
you
よ
can tell, she doesn't get to do this much. She's like, oh my gosh.
う。もう今毎日忙しいから想像できない。
できないよね
できない。金曜日だといつもは
で、お子さん3人いない。
仕事が終わったらお迎えに行って空手に送ってって塾に送ってって
Oh my
塾にお迎え
gosh.
寝るから家で寝たい。
おー
何にもせずに家でだから今回ここに来て久しぶりにすごいゆっくり広いベッドで寝たからなんかもう
ちょっとパワー
もうあーってなりました。
もう天国 She says that, so she was doing her schedule. She's like, I finish work, I go pick up kids, I go to karate, I go to juku, and then I go home, and then I sleep. And she said, so I just want to go home and like sleep, and that's all I want to do. She said, but here, like she's been here, and one of her kids is here with her, but the other 2 are back with the husband. So she said, for the first time in a very long time,
すごい久しぶり。
big bed, all by yourself, mostly.
いつもこう端っこでこうやって寝てるからいつも。
あ、そうだよね、2人。Yeah.
こうやって
She's like, I don't even get the bed. You know, this time I get the bed by myself. You know, she's like, I'm in heaven. You
もう
know.
ヘブンでした。
Yeah.
My question for you was, besides just voice acting, was there anything that you wanted to do in your career as well, like live action or movies?
Or even something besides
Yeah.
voice acting at
Yeah,
all, right?
outside of
そ
like
う
the
なんか
realm of
例えば
like,
声優声優グランプリときっかけなかったら何になりたかったと思います
私獣医さんになりたかったんです。
え
獣医。
獣医ってなんだっけ
動物のお医者さん。
Oh, vet.
that.
いいね。動物何がいい
好きで
何が好き
犬もずっと飼っていたし。
Ah,
動
and she
物が
also has a
大
dog.
好きで、動物のお医者さんっていう、日本で有名な漫画があるんですけど、それが大好きで。
So there's a Japanese manga called Animal Doctor, and she really, really loved that. Yeah. じゃあそれの憧れで、私もこういう風になりたいな。
獣医さんになりたいと思ってたんだけど、数学がとても必要で、私数学が本当にできない。
すごいってサイエンスだよね。Yeah. And so unfortunately, obviously, doctors, you need science. I was not good at science, she said.
本当に。ちょっと慣れないなと思ってたところに声優グランプリ
And she's like, I might have to rethink my options. And then that's when the Seiyuu Grand Prix came. And yes, it changed her world.
でも本当に習い事の感覚で養成所に入ったんです。その時は全然声優って仕事はこんなにメジャーじゃなかったから、なんかちょっとそういう将来のことどうしようかなって考えているところのストレス発散のつもりで養成所に行ったので、
養成所って
養成所だからレッスンスタジオ的な
はいはいはい。Okay,
事務所の下
アカデミー。
だけどアカデミーみたいな。
Okay. So she said that even though, when she first started doing Seiyuu, she didn't even think, because back then, even though it was a job, it wasn't necessarily thought of as a long-term job, right? And so she didn't think of it as that way either. And so she said that she went to, how a lot of times the agencies will have academies, or they'll have lessons that they'll do and stuff like that. So she went to that exactly knowing where that was going to take her. And she was like, I don't even know what's going to happen in the future. But yeah.
じゃあ自分がこれでずっと自分の仕事で生活できるなっていうふうにその思った瞬間っていつだったのか覚えてますか
？5年ぐらい経ったとか。
So I asked her, I said, when is that moment when you knew that you could go from that being maybe possibly a temporary thing, that no, maybe I need to come up with something else, to where that moment where you're like, I can do this for the rest of my life and I'm good. 5 years ago.
Wow.
というか5年経ったらもう他のことを始めるのは難しいなと思ったかもしれない。一からまた。
And one of the reasons probably also is because she's like, okay, maybe I'm at a point in my life where it might be a little bit hard to start from scratch and start from all over. So she's like, okay, so this is my path. This is what I have to take. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, you were saying like it's awesome to meet so many people doing what you do, and that's great. So that being said, how does it feel to know that characters you play are tied to people's everyday life all over the world? How does that feel?
It what affects people?
Yeah, you know how it ties to
Yeah.
characters.
ね、だからそれがその自分の千代さんが演じてるキャラクターがいろんな世界でいろんな人の人生を変えたとか。
So like change their life or like inspire them, like it could be anything like that, right?
いや、それは自分でどういうふうに思ってるんですか？どういう気持ちなんですか？
そうですね。なんか声優の仕事ってたまにこうやって表に出て、自分がこうちょっとその作品を作ったような感じになっちゃうんだけれど、絶対そんなことはなくて、私はあくまでも部品の一部だから、やっぱりその全部作った人の思いと、やっぱりその時のなんて言ったらいいのかな、時の運じゃないけど、その時に必要だった作品だと思うし、
空間もそうですしね。
本当にそれは私だけの力ではないけれど、いろんな人の力が合わさってできたものだっていうことを逆に私は私の力じゃないってすごく思うようにしてます。なんとなくこうやって来ると歓迎してもらって、わあ私すごいって思いがちなんだけれど、本当に私は代表としてたまたま来ているだけで、だから私の力じゃないっていうことをむしろ言いたい、キャラクターの力、作品の力で、私はその一部。
So it's amazing, like really lovely what she says, but she says, you know, even though I'm here and, you know, everyone has been so supportive saying, oh, I really love your characters and I really love your work. And she said, I love that and I really welcome that and feel so much gratitude towards that. However, like her approach to it is, I am not a figurehead, but like I am one of many pieces. And so even though I'm here standing or sitting, you know, representing all these, you know, like series, anime, and video games, she says, I am very aware that I am just one of many, many pieces. And so I believe that it's not, and it doesn't matter what franchise or what project it is, that I am just one, you know, it's a team effort. And so there are a lot of people that are, so basically there are a lot of people back here and she's here at the front. But so that's kind of how she feels. So very, でもやっぱりその感謝のね、
すごく嬉しい、すごく嬉しいからみんなに言おうって思います。
Yeah, and so extreme, like very you know, a real sense of gratitude. So like when she goes back home, she will let them know as well, like, you know, because it's not just her, you know, it's also like, hey, this is how amazing our work was taken, you know, so many people in Dallas loved our work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. First of all, Harrison Ford's my favorite actor too.
ハリソン・フォード大好きよ。
よかった。
I know. So you've been an voice actor for over half your life now.
そうね、人生の半分ぐらいそういう。
あ、そう、確かに。
If you could speak to the Chiwa Saito that was just starting, what would the
20年前の
2023
千
Chiwa
葉さん
Saito
に
say?
Like give advice? もしアドバイス。
そうですね。どうかな。
しかもアドバイスあげるあげない Because she might not even give advice, right? Could
そ
be
れ
tough
は
love. You
それ
never
は
know.
声優としてがいいか、人
Are
間
you
として
talking
が
about life advice or Seiyuu advice? Or?
I'm interested in life advice.
Ah.
ライフアドバイス？ライフアドバイスだとしたら、もっと自分の時間を持ちなさいって言います。
Have more time to yourself. Have more of your own time.
やっぱりちょっとさっきも話したけど、お休みを取るとかそういうのが日本ではすごく難しいし、それがあんまりいいことだと思われない、けど自分の人生を豊かにすることって多分お芝居する上でも人間的にもすごくいいことだから、それをもっとやってほしかったって言うと変だけどね、やったらもっと楽しいよって思う。
Yeah, one of the things that we have been discussing earlier today about mental health and about how, because she's, she said like, it was so hard, she said it was so hard for me to take time for myself, like when I was first starting off, because, maybe your agency is like, you can't do that, like you have a lot of people giving you pressure, right? And so as a young voice actor, you're just one piece, you don't really feel like you can speak up, right? But now mental health is becoming big everywhere, and even in Japan. And so Chiwa-san said that now she's really learned that she needs to create that time so that she'll be able to have a fuller life and then also be able to do her job better. And so that's one thing that she would probably say, give yourself more time to, it's okay.
でもそれがあったから今があるっていうのはちょっと難しい。そうそう。
But then
頑張
at
った
the
から今があ
same,
る。
yeah, but then at the same time, probably because she didn't do that and she had that, like that gaman, kind of thing that she is where she is now. So it's, yeah, good and bad kind of, but yeah.
That's life.
That's life. So I think.
You don't. Okay, cool. You recently voiced the acting grandmaster of Knights of Wapana's John from Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact.
あ、原神ね。
How were you approached for that role, and what was the recording process like during the pandemic?
Good question. コロナの時のレコーディングの仕方と、あとそのティンさんのキャラクターを演じる時のその作業じゃないけどどういう感じでやったのかとか。
ゲームはでもね、もともと一人だから変わらない。
So okay. So actually, though, because it's a game, so it doesn't, because games are done like individually, so it wasn't done in a group. So that, as far as the process during COVID or post, pre, like during COVID, it's the same. But キャラクター作り。
キャラクター作りね。
You want to know about her process for making the
私
character?
実はキャラクター作りで悩んだことがあまりなくて、絵があればなんとなくこういう感じかなと思うタイプで、だから絵を見てこんな感じかなって言って向こうのその作った原作者さんだったりディレクターさんだったりの演出に寄せるっていう感じかな。
なるほど。ということはスタジオにいるとき、チアさんがなんとなくこんな感じかなって言ってそれをやって、向こうがそれにちょっと
多分ちょっとこう
合わせるんじゃないけど、
合わせ向こうのイメージとこうすり合わせていくような感じが多いです。
やり取りがあった。あんまりなかった。
あります。でもね、ジンはほとんどなかった。なんかあの絵を見たときにこういう感じの人でこういう声だろうなって。
もう結構すぐに分かった。
なんか分かります私は割とそういう。
She said that actually it was quite almost easy to do, like a very seamless process, because she said that, like she saw the picture of what the character was going to be for Jean, and then what they do is, as a process, like she has an image, and then of course the director and the person that, the creator, whoever is there in the studio on the other side, they also have an image, and so they do this back and forth ping pong kind of, until they figure out what they want, right, for that character voice. But with Jean, pretty much there was almost none of that. Like it was pretty much spot on right away. Yeah.
ああいうね、姿勢のいいキャラクターってすごくやりやすいんです実は。こうスッと座ってまっすぐ出てくる声。だからそんなに悩まない。
So she really didn't worry, like she didn't really think about that much at all, because it was like straight, and like the voice was like very direct, very straight as well. Yeah, so it wasn't something that really took a lot of worrying or trying to figure out that much.
私は割とキャラクターを作るときに大切なのって呼吸の速さを大切にしてて、その人が息をする速さ。
でそれはあんまりじゃあ
子供だったらって息をするし、もう年を取ればって息をするし、背が曲がるし、そういうのを再現する。
スタジオの中でもそういうふうにやる。
やってると思います。自分を見たことがないけどわかんないけど、もちろんマイクに入る範囲で、やるかな。
So one of the things that she does with characters is the breath. So she just did the and that's for like a little kid, kind of out of breath. And then as the character gets older, and maybe is an older, elderly woman or something, then the breath is much more slower and much more deliberate. And I asked her, I said, so do you also use that visually, like physically? Are you also, when you do a character? She said, I probably do. I probably am. I don't know myself because I'm like doing it, but probably yes.
Yeah.
We're at a little under 10 minutes, so I think maybe just one more question.
Okay. あと質問の一つです。Final question.
何でもいいです。
You go ahead.
Was there anything that we didn't ask that you would like to talk about?
言いたいこと？なんだろう。パネルでも少し話したんですけど、本当に私自身にフォーカスしてもらうことって日本ではあまりなくて、やっぱり作品に関しての質問、作品に関連しての私っていうものをこう出すことしかなかったので、今回はすごくアメリカで私のパーソナルな話ができたことがとても嬉しかったし、日本だと例えば結婚しました、家族ができましたっていうのってそんなに歓迎されない、残念なことに、だけどそれをすごくあったかく皆さんが受け入れて、なんかってうなずいてくれてっていうのもすごく私は嬉しくて、とてもいい経験でした。すごくありがたい。
She said that, like in Japan, because it's a very different culture they don't have like anime conventions in Japan. Like really it's more, if you have like a new franchise or a new season that's being released, it's a release event, or it's like a new anime that's coming out. So it's a new, so it's a very, very different thing. And so for her to actually come by herself and the focus be on herself is very, very rare. So it's only when she goes out of Japan that happens, because it's always like, oh, okay, we have the cast of Genshin Impact or whatever. So it's like a group of people, right? And so and it's always only about that one title, whatever it is. So she said that I'm so happy that I've been able to talk about some of my personal stuff, like even stuff like that. A lot of times there are many Seiyuu who nothing. You can't talk about that stuff too. But Chiwa-san is really has so many incredible stories and is very open to talking about that kind of thing. And so she said that for her it's just been so incredible to be able to talk about these things that are very kind of private, but everyone has really taken it in so well and has just really accepted it. And she said that it's just been really wonderful. So yeah.
私のそういう個人的な質問をいっぱいしてもらうことがとても楽しいです。
Yeah, and she loves getting those kind of more personal questions, So,
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, so she says thank you very much. Yes.
はるかさんですか。
じゃあ千葉斎藤さんです。あり
がとうございました。
ミニ花火みたいだね。
すごく楽しかったです。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. She said I had a really good time. Thank you.